Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another reaction for you guys. Today guys, of course, we are continuing the journey of Tales of the Jedi. This is Season 1, Episode 3 of Tales of the Jedi, titled Choices. I like that title a lot, Choices, because it really comes down to these characters' choices. Now, like in Episode 2, which was Justice, the Qui-Gon and DOOKU episode, DOOKU made a choice to start force choking that senator who ended up being kind of a bad guy in a sense, like abandoning his own people, not really caring about what happened to this town, apparently this whole planet. It just really became crap, but the senator didn't care, right? But Dooku made a choice to force choke him going down that dark path, but then Qui-Gon made a choice to run back and release the senator's son to help stop Dooku, because I think Dooku was going to kill that senator. So the son got in the way, Qui-Gon helped, and ultimately Dooku finally got out of his anger, his rage. But he made that choice because he looked all around and made the choice to force choke the guy. So Qui-Gon, of course, made a decision to release the son who was captured to try to stop the senator from dying. So it really comes down to these characters making a choice. Now, in terms of like Episode 1 with Baby Ahsoka, she really didn't make a choice. She's too young to really understand that. She just saw that tiger coming at her to eat her, and she just touched it on the nose, and then the Force sensitivity within her allowed her to live. So there's that. So I wouldn't say that's really a choice. That was more of like, she had no idea, but thankfully at that moment, she was able to stop from being eaten, because Ahsoka could have died, and we would have never seen that character, right? So, but I think it was interesting that how they kind of established that really early on in her life, she had Force sensitivity, which makes a lot of sense. But so I'm excited for this episode. I'm enjoying the journey so far. The show looks like gorgeous. It's fantastic. I was trying to find that word. Was it glorious? No, gorgeous. It's beautiful. I love the look of Tales of the Jedi. It's great. I love the animation. Love it. So let's get into now, guys. Episode 3, Choices. Let's go.
You've been studying that tablet for a
Oh,
long time.
hey.
Are the answers you need over Master Khatri's death in that file?
My instincts tell me it is not that simple. Who ambushed the senator? To return Master Khatri's body to the Jedi Temple, so she can have a proper burial. But something more should be done. Your devotion to rules is sometimes inspiring and sometimes maddening.
Welcome to Raxus Secundus. We are saddened by what happened to Master Khatri. She was well respected and will be missed.
Are you? I don't trust anybody,
I will
so.
take you to Senator Lara.
Why would you choose to go without a security detail?
Yeah, why?
Because I hope for peace on Raxus. I confided as much to
I recognize the
Master
voice
Khatri
actor for this character.
I'd like to see where you and Khatri went to meet this informer.
Let us be on our way.
It's obvious that he's hiding something.
Yeah,
We should take this
it's
information
obvious.
back to the council.
I'd be careful. I mean, they're gonna be fine, but still, it's like hard to trust people. Is there somebody up there? I think so. I like how they're like looking around. They're all just standing there, just watching.
Senator?
Firing upon her immediately?
Yeah, that's.
From what I can remember,
If Master Khatri were fired upon here, why are there no blast marks on your ship? No damage? Unless that attack is from someone one would trust, like you.
the guards killed her.
Ooh, dude. Oh, okay, okay. Holy crap. Let's go. Oh, that was awesome. That's awesome. Oh, yeah. Cut your head off.
You and all of the Senate puppets will see a reckoning.
That's what you get.
Tell us your reason for killing Master Khatri.
Eric was using his ascendancy to become rich at the expense of our people and planet. He was selling off our planet, piece by piece, all from his comfortable residence on faraway Coruscant. Why didn't you take this to the proper authorities?
Yeah, why didn't you?
Was
Why?
a keeper of the peace.
Jedi claim peace, but mostly keep law and order for the rich.
That statement that guy just made makes Dooku think,
Your ideology, while faulty, does have its points.
I'm surprised to hear that.
I don't condone your methods, but you had every right to protect your planet.
The council will have questions.
Yes, they will.
I believe they'll be happy to know that we solved Master Catri's murder. I have no problem explaining myself.
Good.
Now let me ask you one thing. Do you think the Jedi will truly keep peace if they continue to take everything the Senate says as law?
Makes you think. At least it's making Dooku think a lot about the Jedi and everything. Oh.
Master Katri was patient with younglings and Jedi.
Like in the parallel, standing on either side.
A minute. I am told you will be presented with Master Catri's council seats.
I will. You and I both were together when the mission was assigned.
Yeah.
I stuck to the mission. You decided to interfere in a way that led to a senator's death.
Master Jedi.
It's already too late for Dooku, unfortunately, I think. I love that this is a show. I love the fact that we're learning more about Dooku, and especially the turning point for Dooku. And the title of the episode, Choices, makes 100% sense in regards to the choices that were made by Mace and the choices made by Dooku. And how Mace Windu was like, hey, I followed the orders, I followed the mission. You, Dooku, you swayed and went your own direction, and I'm the one being offered a seat on the council. You were not. I will speak on behalf of you. Man. Because even right away, the first thing you see is Mace Windu and them talking, and they're discussing the mission, and Dooku's like, well, I have questions. And Mace Windu's like, that's not part of the whole thing. It's not, we're here to retrieve the body, blah, blah, blah. We have certain guidelines for the mission. And Dooku's like, well, no, I got questions. Because this doesn't add up. I need to ask these questions. Look, I'm not trying to say, I'm siding with the guy who ends up being evil, but he has a right to ask questions, because ultimately, what did those questions accomplish? You got to the actual truth of what happened. Because they were told of what happened to the Master Jedi that died, but they really didn't get to the bottom of it until Dooku started asking, well, can we go see where this took place? So they went. They're looking around, and I like how, and I made the point before everything kind of went to shit, that the guards and the Senate, I guess he was senator or whatever, that guy, they were just standing there watching, not doing anything, not saying anything, nothing. And then it's like, well, there's a blast mark here, and you said there was a blast that came from over here, and she was attacked immediately. And being a surprise attack on the Jedi is very rare unless you're trusting that person and you don't expect it, but they can sense something. But why is there no blast marks on your ship? And so that guy starts running in. It was the guards killed her. I think it was a she, right? Anyways, he gets killed immediately by the guards, and then the guards are attacking when then these robots show up, and then holy crap, it was awesome to see Mace Windu and Dooku destroying guys left and right, taking out these robots. It was so awesome to see that fight. It was so well done. And so, sorry, I got a text message. So I got really into that. I loved it. Then they were standing there with those last two remaining guards. And unfortunately, that one guy, the younger guy, it seemed, was not going to say anything. And he went for his blaster, and the reflection of the blast hit him and killed him. The last guy who Dooku was standing over started talking about the fact that, well, look, him, the guy that I just shot, or one of us shot, he's now dead. The reason why we did what we did is because he was selling off our planet piece by piece. He was living on Coruscant. He has his own place there. He didn't care about our planet. He just was doing everything, living in this luxurious life, and he was basically, destroying our planet. And they asked him, why didn't you go to the proper authorities? Why didn't you try to, once you found this information out, why didn't you say anything? And he's like, well, who could I tell? It's you could have told the Jedi. All the Jedi, all they really care about is protecting the rich, protecting the higher up people. And that moment on Dooku's face tells you so many things, because he literally was thinking, you're not wrong, kinda. And then he's talking to him through his prison cell and says, I don't agree with your tactics, but you're not wrong about your assessment. Because what ended up happening? This whole thing went down because of Dooku's choices in terms of the senator being killed and those guards and everything, but they got right to the actual truth of it all. And the reason why they couldn't go to that Jedi, because they thought, these Jedis, they don't care. Like, they say they're for one thing, but they're really for another. They're not really for peace of all people. They're really for peace for the higher-ups to protect them. And so, Dooku asking, Mace that question about, are we really answering to... Are we really answering to the Jedi Council? Or are we really answering to the Senate? Blah, blah, blah. Like, asking the authority of power, like... It's a true question to ask, because who do you really answer to? What does the Jedi really stand for? Now, it's been said that the Jedi failed and burned and everything to ash because of the way they ran the council, and how they were a part of the Senate and certain politics and everything. And then that's how the fall of the Jedi occurred in the prequel trilogy. It's because of that. Because they weren't fully aware of what they were doing. They weren't fully aware of their surroundings. Because they didn't know Palpatine was right there. They had no clue. So for Dooku to ask these questions, it's not a bad thing. I think it needed to happen. And that really is the turning point for why Dooku turned to Count Dooku Darth Tyrannus. That's why he became the Sith Lord. Was he a Sith Lord? I think he was. But that's why he turned, because he ultimately realizes that the Jedi are not standing for what they really should stand for, essentially. There are good Jedi within the mix. I feel like as a whole, especially with them attached to the Senate and working and all that, that's where I think it got muddied. And maybe at a time it worked, because the Jedi Council and that whole thing was around for a very long time. But I think it got to the point where their alignment, their way of approaching things and what they really stood for wasn't exact as they should. It's kind of my thinking. I don't know. But I really enjoyed seeing the differences of where they both were standing, and seeing Yoda there at the funeral and everything. It was really cool to see all these Jedi and everything, and then unfortunately knowing that, they're not going to make it. Everything falls apart at a point. But I also like seeing young Dooku as well. It's kind of cool, and kind of see, because unless we had all this extra stuff, I think in the non-canon, the Legends novels, I think there was probably more stuff for Dooku in terms of story, but I like the fact that we're learning more. So I hope that Tales of the Jedi, this is established and set up, that we're going to get more of these shorts to tell more stories of these characters, because I like the fact that we're learning more about Dooku. I think it's great. So overall, I think, to me personally, this might be my favorite episode so far that I've seen of the show. Of course, I've only seen 3 out of the 6, but I really enjoyed this one, and I can't wait to jump into the next one. What did you guys think of this episode? I'm curious to know your thoughts, guys. Whatever thoughts you have, let me know in the comments below. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.